Hey y'all, what's up? So started to work on mounting my 42-inch Rigidhorse light bar. A couple of the challenges I'm facing here. It's a Subaru that I'm mounting it to, which is kind of strange to begin with. Mostly see them on trucks, but I didn't want to drill any holes in my roof, and they make those door brackets, you know, that go inside your weather stripping here, you know, and you just rivet it in there. But my vehicle has the frameless windows, so that kind of rules that out, makes that more difficult. So that's what I came up with. This is after day one, so I still have to do some work with it. I gotta trim these back, and I'm gonna put a bar across from side to side just to help add a little bit of stability. I still haven't figured out how I'm gonna run my wire, but yeah, this is a 1/2-inch rigid conduit, and I went with conduit because I have benders for them, so I figured that'd be easier than getting, you know, like black iron pipe and trying to bend that. Not to mention this has the galvanized coating on it, so it'll offer a little bit of rust protection because I'm gonna paint it, but you know, if the paint chips off or whatever. I live in New York, so. But you can see it's kind of bouncy. The way I have it mounted is I took and drilled and tapped 3 holes into the side rails of my roof rack, and I put it up here so that you can still use the roof rack. Is completely functional still. You can slide this bar all the way up to as far as it would go before, and I used 3 5/16 by 18 bolts. We'll see how it does. I'm not really sure because the aluminum's pretty thin. My original plan was to use like nut inserts, but the nut inserts are just massive for 5/16, and I just don't think that they would fit inside here. But once you went to crush them down, it wouldn't expand all the way. So I'm gonna give this a try. I still got to tweak a few things. I have to bend the pipe a little more because I had to kind of force that into there to get it in, but it shouldn't be hard. Just gotta take a little bit out of each of those bends, and I either have to bend that bracket or bend the pipe at like an angle so that it'll mate up with that bracket all the way around. But yeah, and then I'll probably end up building some sort of like a foot that'll come down, like a piece of steel or something, maybe off of this back screw here. It'll just kind of come down and make like an L form, and I'll put like a rubber boot on that, and that'll help kind of hold this up and keep it from being so bouncy, because I can just see, you know, a couple of years down the road or so it'll end up bouncing and breaking something, or it'll just start to bend and then it'll just start bouncing off my roof. That's not good for anyone, so.
Watch me, oh, watch me, watch me, oh, okay, oh, okay.
Alright guys, this is what I came up with. I think I'm done with it. I'm getting ready to paint it now. So you can see I just welded a piece of rigid conduit between the 2 ends to stiffen that up, give it a little support, and I put some gussets in the corner here. I'm by no means a welder, so hopefully this holds up. These are my feet, so these bolts will just kind of hold it in place up there, and then these feet I'm going to put some, I got that plasti dip stuff, I don't know how well that'll hold up, but I ground these smooth so there's no sharp edges or anything. It's really smooth, so that's going to carry most of the weight of the light bar and the rack and everything, and that'll kind of keep it from bouncing. Here's the light bar brackets. I took and welded them right on. So Yeah, I mean, considering I've never learned how to weld, I just kind of did it. Welds turned out okay. Some goofy ones, but not bad. So yeah, I'm just getting ready to prep it for paint, and then I'm gonna paint on a primer. I got this stuff here, Kilts 2 latex. Excellent adhesion and sealing properties for drywall, masonry, galvanized, and more. Interior and exterior. So that's going to be my primer. I'll probably do 2 thin coats of that, and then I'm going to spray it with Rust-Oleum satin black paint. Prepping it with this stuff here. I don't really know what this is the best thing, but it'll clean off any grease and hopefully get things to adhere properly. So yeah, I'm going to wipe it down and I'll prime it, paint it, and I'll dip the feet in rubber and we'll put it up there. Well, I think I did it. I think I got this light bar mounted to my roof without drilling any holes in my roof, which is cool. It actually went together a lot smoother than I thought it would. Everything bolted right up like I planned it out to. You can see the feet that I made. I used that rubber plasti dip, the stuff you actually dip it in. Put a couple of coats of that on there to give it, to protect the roof. I also got some cheap carbon fiber vinyl. I'm going to cut out little circles to make a little, to protect the clear coat, you know, because it will move around a little bit, you know, when you're driving down the road. And I don't, even though it's got rubber on it, I don't want the rubber to eventually wear through the clear coat, you know, just a little extra assurance. But yeah, and everything bolted right up. See the stainless hardware there. It's got 3 bolts on each side. I took and ran a bead of silicone across between the roof rack and the light bar mount to help try to keep water out of the pipe here, because that would suck to get water in it and have it freeze and split open or rust it from the inside out. But yeah, there it is. Turned out pretty decent. One thing that I am kind of concerned about is I had it all bolted up when I was making these feet, and what I did was I used a spacer underneath them. I used a manual that I had laying around so that it could account for the rubber being on there, because there was no rubber on it when I did this. And I kind of lifted it up a little bit, got it into position, and I used some clamps and clamped them down into place, and then I unbolted it and welded it. And this one here, I don't know if I think I got enough rubber on it. I think I just screwed up where the foot went a little bit, and so it's kind of, there's not a lot of weight on that foot. And what I'm concerned about is going down the road and having to listen to that. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know exactly how I would fix that. especially now that I got all the bolts in, you know, Loctite in place. I don't know, maybe I could use some of that black silicone and just kind of glue it down, kind of hold it in place a little bit better. But we'll see how it goes. If it's unlivable, then yeah, I'll do something about it. But yeah, it's pretty robust. You can grab onto it and shake it around pretty good. It's not going anywhere. That middle pipe, there's a little bit of a bend to it. That middle pipe I made too short on accident. And this conduit's $15 a stick. And if I did everything right, I would have had enough out of one stick of conduit to do the entire rack. But I screwed it up the first time and made it like 3/8 too short. So I had to go out and buy a new stick, and I didn't want to make it too long and have it pushing out on it. I'd rather have it kind of pulling everything in, and made it just a hair too short. And you see it's got a little bit of a bow to it, but no big deal, you know. Everything bolted up, and these brackets turned out pretty good. Everything's welded in place, and now I'm working on the wiring. That was one of the things I was kind of concerned about, was the wiring, because I didn't know how to get it inside, because it's kind of hard to run it through here, because the way these windows work is as you close it, they kind of go up underneath there. They kind of push out and up, and so that wouldn't be any good for running a wire, and I didn't want to drill any holes, like I said. So when I was mocking it up, I saw that it kind of fit inside this channel, so I used that black silicone, and I put a bead in that channel of molding and pressed the wire down into there, and I ran it up underneath this piece of molding here. Still waiting for the silicone to dry. That's why the tape's on there, just to hold it in place. And goes under that piece, this piece. And I wrapped it. I wanted to wrap it in some wire loom, but all I have is this giant stuff, and that's just, you know, too big. So I double wrapped it in this heat shrink tube. That should be more than enough to protect it from rubbing through on anything. So yeah, now I just gotta continue them down, and there's the relay for the front bar. I'm gonna use the same signal wire. I got a new fuse and everything, so that each one is on its own fuse, even though this one here would be more than enough. Alright, so it's been a few weeks now since I mounted the light bar up there. I did end up fixing this foot. Basically what I did was, I don't know, you might be able to see there's a little bit of a bend to it. I took a pipe wrench, stuck it on there, and just kind of tweaked it down so now it's touching on that front foot, on the front of the foot. So it doesn't spread the weight out like I kind of wanted it to, but it keeps it from, you don't hear that going down the road. And also that plasti dip heats up and it kind of sticks to the vinyl, so that kind of glues it down. But I haven't had any issues with it yet. It does whistle, which I didn't really think about that, but most of the time you don't really notice that going down the road. But from what I hear, it's from these brackets right here. See, there's the relay. I mounted it back there, kind of out of the way. Got all my wires zip tied up underneath here with some other wires. All the wires kind of run down in there, and like I said, I tapped off of this relay, which I don't really like the location of this relay and all that, but there's my fuse there for the light up top. It's extremely bright. Your eyes just about have to adjust to it when you're see, there it is in all its glory. 19,500 lumens or whatever. It is extremely bright. I'll try to get another video with a night shot of it. And one of the other things you guys will probably ask about is going hood blind, or whatever they call it, because I did mount it on the roof, and that's one of the things I read about, was it lights up the hood. It'll blind you, but because it's a car, I have the camera just about where my head is right now, leaning on the headrest, and as you can see, I have the hood popped so you can kind of see it, but really the only thing that the light bar lights up is that wiper arm, and it's not like super bright or anything, and the amount of light that it projects forward definitely overdoes that. But it's like when you drive by street signs with it on, you know, like a speed limit sign, it is so bright reflecting off that speed limit sign, you just gotta about put your sunglasses on. So yeah, so that's the light bar. I like it. It's definitely a good quality product, and check them out, Rigidhorse on Amazon.